friends, today we are going to discuss chapter 5 for class 5, which is plant reproduction. In this we are going to discuss what is sexual reproduction, dispersal of seeds and vegetative reproduction. We'll do the exercises also. Students, we have already discussed the different parts of a flower in our last lecture. If you haven't seen, please see my last video. Basically it has pedicles, then it has petals, then it has stamen. These are the stamens, and after that it has the carpels. Fine. So all the parts are being explained earlier. Just I'm going to remind you about that. So, after that, next step is fertilization. So what is fertilization? It is very important for the reproduction of the plants, in which male gamete in the pollen grain fuses with the female gamete. So what happens in fertilization? The male gamete in the pollen grain fuses in the female gamete inside the ovary. You know that in the female gamete we have ovary, so male gamete goes into that. That is called as sexual reproduction. So there are two kinds of plant reproduction. One is sexual reproduction, in which male gamete enters into the female gamete. Otherwise is a sexual reproduction in which happens in case of vegetation, where the stem or the root or the leaves are being used for the production of new plant. Fine. So that is your asexual reproduction. If we talk about the sexual reproduction, what happens? There is a matured plant. Fine. One matured plant. This matured plant gives the fruits. These fruits always have some kind of seeds. Now these, as you can see, these fruit has seeds. Now these seeds again go into the soil, and when they germinate, new small plants comes out. So this process keeps on going. That means matured plant gives us fruits, fruits gives us seeds, through seeds new young plants comes out, and then the cycles go on. This is the life cycle of a plant. Now if we discuss the fertilization in detail, it is the fusion of male gamete with the female gamete is called fertilization. Now what happens? This we have already read in the last video, in the last chapter. This yellow part is the female gamete, and these upper, you can say, these are the pollen grains which came from the male gamete. So these enters into the stigma. This is the upper part of the female gamete is called as stigma. They enter into the stigma, and through stigma, as you can see, they passes through the style. First is stigma, then second one is style. After passing to the style, they enters into the ovary, where eggs are present. They unites with the eggs and give birth to the seed. Here, then after, the ovary gets swollen and the size of seed keeps on increasing. Next thing is formation of seed. After the combination of male and female gamete, what happens? The flower loses its bright color. The sepals, petals and stamen falls off. They are taken away. The ovary increases in size. The size of ovary keeps on increasing and it becomes the fruit. The ovary wall becomes a fruit. The ovary wall becomes a fruit, and ovary and ovule develop into the seeds. Fine. So all the sepals, petals are gone after the fertilization. The next important thing is dispersal of seeds. That means, you know that after formation of seeds, the new plants can be grown into the soil if the soil gets spread or mixed with the soil. Now how these seeds get dispersed, we will discuss that. The process of scattering of seeds from parent plant is called as seed dispersal. That means the plant which is making the seeds or the fruits, these seeds are going to be separated from it and are going to mix with the soil, and in the right environment they are going to germinate. So this is the seed dispersal. Now there are many things. They may be carried to far away places through wind, water, insects or animals. These are the agents of dispersal. Dispersal of seeds can be by four means: by the air, by explosion, by water or by the animals. Like if your seeds are very light, then they can be blown away by the air to the far away places, and they, whenever they will be getting the right condition, they will germinate at those places. For example, cotton, the cotton seed is very light, can be easily blown by the air. Through water, water is the another seed dispersal agent. The seeds of coconut and lotus are going to be dispersed by the water. It is carried away by the water to the far away places, and whenever they get the right condition, they germinate. Then through explosion, if we talk about the fruit, the vegetable or fruits like okra or peas, whenever their fruit or vegetable ripe, it bursts and all the seeds inside it get scattered here and there, and they can germinate this way. Then the animals can be, here we are talking about insect as well as the animals. Insects like butterfly, they carry the pollen grains, as well as if we talk about big animals, if they are eating those fruits, as you know that the seeds of tomato and guava cannot be digested as such, they come in the same form from their gut, and their gut get mixed into the soil. So the seed from the plant goes inside the animal, then through gut it goes into the soil, and then it get mixed into the soil and can germinate afterwards. So these were all the process of dispersal of seeds. Now next topic in this is vegetative reproduction. That means how different kind of vegetables give birth to the new plants. Now first method in this is growing plants from the stem. You have already seen many plants like rose. We cut the stem of these plants and sow it in the soil, and the new plant comes out from their stem only. As you can see, rose, or you can say the plant also comes like this only, or hibiscus, bougainvillea. These are the plants where new plants can be grown using their stem only. These potato, ginger and onion, they give birth to the new plant using their buds. They have these buds that you might have seen in at your home also. Now you can see these are the buds which are used for giving birth to the new plants. There are some vegetables that can be grown using root also. For example, carrot and radish, they can be grown, the new plants can be grown from the roots of such plants. So carrot, radish, turnip, potato, dahlia, all these are the examples where the new plants are grown using their roots. Next method, growing of plants from the leaves. You must be surprised, there are the plants that can be grown by the leaves also. For example, bryophyllum is a plant where you can see from this figure, if I focus on that, you can see there's a leaf, and on the edges of these leaves there are buds from where you can see new saplings are coming out. So this is the bryophyllum leaf which is responsible for growing up the new plants. Similarly, some plants can be grown using spores. Spores are the small holes in the leaves of those plants, like fern spores within. So you can see small spots. If I focus on this, let's check it out. Now you can see there are small spores which are responsible for the growing of new plants. Fern spores are the example of this. Now it's exercise time. So take the correct answer. Fertilization occurs after the seed formation, after the fruit formation, after pollination. So after pollination, the fertilization occurs. Ovary of a flower develops into fruit. Pollen tube grows downwards into a style, stigma, pollen or anther. Style. Plants like fern reproduce from spores. We have just seen in the end. Reproduction of Bryophyllum occurs through leaves. We have seen it now. Fine. Now the next thing, fill in the blanks. Female gamete present inside the ovule. Coconut is dispersed by water. Ovule inside the ovary develops into the seed. Wings and hair are found in seeds that are dispersed by air like cotton. Seeds of pea and poppy get dispersed by explosion. Now next is give 2 examples of plants that can be grown from roots, carrot and radish. Seeds dispersed by air, cotton and maple. Seeds dispersed by animals, tiger claw and xanthium, or you can say that tomato and guava also. Plants that can be grown from the stem cutting, rose, hibiscus, curry.